mabang isipan. Go Palatas, malinis na paligid, mabuting kalooban. Go Palakas, hangad na maglingkod sa kapwa't kaibigan. Go Palakas, alagaan natin si inang kalikasan. Halika na totoo sa kalikasan at kapwa-tao. Isa buhay natin ito. Go Palakas, Go Palakas. Pangkalusugan, pangkalikasan. Go Palakas.
Morning,
Good
everyone.
morning.
Good morning.
Good
Good
Pleasant
day.
morning. And I hope you're planning for a good weekend, considering all of the lockdowns and the restrictions, and we should all try to stay safe, no?
Even in Canada, Toronto, Ontario, they're also having a lockdown for
Oo.
4 weeks.
Marami
In many
talaga.
places
Mm-mm.
around the world, no?
Yeah, especially in our country right now, yeah, we're going through some very uncertain times simply because we did not project what was going to take place and how to handle this. Yeah.
Yes.
But, let's give our best wishes and malaking pasasalamat for all of those who have made sacrifices, the frontliners,
Yes.
those trying to manage the pandemic, and the private sector also. They're trying to contribute
Yeah.
to
By
make it so that,
cooperating.
we can make things a bit easier, But
Oo.
still, we all have to be together in this and work together. We have to cooperate, no?
Yes.
But anyway, yesterday, our country, di ba, nag-holiday tayo, no? Because it was the araw ng kagitingan.
Yes.
Again, we also give thanks to all of our, yung mga matatapang talaga, Again, frontliners, mga soldiers in the field.
Magigiting mga
Yes.
kasama natin sa bansa.
The sacrifice that people are making, it will take a toll in their own personal lives,
Oh, yes.
in their health, their family, but yet they're there, very persistent, trying to save people's lives.
Yes.
You know,
Kasi some people think basta yung mga gigiting, yung mga heroes, yung mga nag-death march, yung mga sa history in the
Oo.
past.
Mm-mm.
But actually, right now, there are many, many heroes
Yes,
na
playing
pwede
their
natin
roles.
This very
you know.
day.
pasalamatan, and
And,
i-recognize.
if we are in the senior year, there's so many things we can actually contribute
Mm.
and help out.
Mhm.
Bring back the idea of strengthen the volunteerism,
Oo.
and perhaps maybe in the future we find ourselves as a country, our ability to defend our country against foreign invaders is not there.
Mm-mm.
So our armed forces or even police, di ba, meron tayong mga departments that are handling the impacts of climate change,
Yeah.
impacts
Oo.
of itong pandemic. Nakikita natin, no? Many times we pull out our policemen or soldiers in the field so that they can do civil societies
Mm-mm.
um,
Civil service.
role.
Work.
of-
Oo,
yeah,
oo.
civil work. Yung kanya,
Oo.
ito, yung mga nagmamando ng mga
Checkpoint.
checkpoints.
Oo.
Normally, maganda sana yung mga ganyan. Talagang mas marami pa yung mga medical personnel or a certain group of a department that really is meant to handle it.
Mm-mm.
Our country is faced with many natural disasters. Taon-taon na lang yan in different regions. And if instead of focusing on defense,
Mm-mm.
we should be focusing on relief programs, rehabilitation programs. There should be a department that will really seriously address this. So that when
Yes.
you have pandemics like this, it's the same personnel that will go, just so that you don't tax, you don't stress out, or you don't thin out,
Oo.
peace and order.
Hila dito, hila
Oh,
doon.
yun ang-
Tapos,
yun ang ano.
dapat constant na yung
Yeah,
yung
there should be,
work
let's
na
say,
ganito.
kunyari
Oo.
ang ating armed forces may 180,000 soldiers, I think, and officers and men, Our police is almost the same, but compared to the population of our country, which is almost 100 million, mababa yan.
Konti pa rin.
Ngayon, for example, if you have a department like that would help in this type of pandemic issues or disasters, meron kang sariling department. You can have 50,000 personnel in it. Yung mga ganun ba, in different regions. Sila yung mga nagre-react sa ganun na program, na mga needs ng ating society. And in that way, you don't burden even your DOH personnel. Kasi sila, they have to play a role sometimes.
Focus sa medical sila.
Focus lang
oo.
sila sa medical. Dito natin nakikita na ating pagkukulang dahil hindi rin natin pinaghahandaan. But nevertheless,
Buti na lang maraming may volunteer spirit
yes,
sa atin.
this is where
Oo.
it's important that we should volunteer our time. If there can be an arrangement by our government or by those trying to manage the pandemic, that there is a volunteerism group.
Oo.
Similarly, sa mga issues in society, like, let's say, even in the mental health, yung may mga ganun. Kasi wala pa tayo talagang organized program to address the growing mental health issues of our country. But there could be moves. Even schools can be involved with this.
Kasi may NSTP program
Yes.
nga, pero minsan yung NSTP magwawadis na lang or
Right.
something.
Oo.
Hindi nila alam how to grab this manpower
Yes.
and really put it to use. No?
So,
And you know what it
advantage
does
sana.
when you start to tap into the youth in such a young age, they begin to have that sense of being responsible. They're a part of the solution to issues that we are confronted with. They're not just being set aside. They're gaining their experience. Many years ago, during the Great Depression that took place before the war, ng World War II, right after World War I, may ganun eh. Halos buong mundo natin nagkaroon ng depression. There was a major role that a youth group did. Ang tawag sa kanila doon, Youth Conservation Corps. Apparently, this type of program should be very, kumbaga, look into that old program to work for our situation today. You know what they did? Ang ginawa nila? They made many, sila yung nagtanim ng napakaraming puno, sila yung nagawa ng mga trails, mga road access,
Wow.
to interlink certain villages, and they fixed the forest. Alam nyo, siguro ginawa nila yun for almost 5 years in America.
Oo.
Ito ngayon yung marami kagubatan.
Wow, ganda. Oo.
And if we do that right now, we harness the strength of the young people, and then they can play a major role. So that this becomes like they're not just going to be, kumbaga, nanonood,
No.
Yeah.
naka-lockdown
Not
lang,
observers,
Oo.
but really
and
active.
you can actually use their ability is sa social media.
Oo.
Sila yung magagaling dyan eh.
Oo.
Social media warriors ang tawag
Yes.
nga sa kanila.
How to communicate, how to kasi sometimes we underestimate what they can do.
Yes.
Merong ang example tayo, yung isang bumabati, I just happened to ask Mila Celeste, the president of SIFCare, about somebody who's greeting us every Saturday, si Miguel Vargas. Sabi ko, sino si Miguel Vargas? Tapos sabi niya, oh well, he was introduced to the Forma project ng SIFCare, and he decided to also start a clean-up project dun sa Dalumpinas.
Yeah, he does this all the
he was-
time, regularly.
Tapos he was asking Mila, paano ba ito? Nag-iisa lang ako, parang ang dami-daming gagawin.
Ah.
Sabi ni Mila sa kanya, don't worry, kami ganun din nag-umpisa. Mag-isa lang kami, pero we invited people, and when people saw what we were doing, ayun, nag-join naman sila, nag-involve. So ginawa rin to ni Miguel, and pretty soon meron na rin siyang
May
mga
group na
kasama
rin
na
siyang kasama.
tumutulong sa kanya. So it's very nice na, you think the problem is so overwhelming, but when you start something, then people want to help,
Yes.
then it becomes a bigger action,
You know,
Yan ang magandang
we are all,
spreading.
di ba, may
Hindi
sometimes
sakit.
tayo parang we want to feel good eh.
Oo.
Di ba? For you to feel good, you have to do good.
Yes.
Yeah, it's natural.
It's a
Oo.
normal thing. It's a natural thing.
Yung topic natin for this Saturday is kindness.
Oo.
Kasama po yun sa kagitingan kasi kindness yung act ng mga
Yes.
sundalo
Of course, they are
at saka
putting
mga
their lives on the
heroes and
line, oh.
frontliners, mga
Yes.
ganyan.
And speaking
This
of
is kind.
frontliners, I want to greet my nephew, Dominic Go. It was his birthday yesterday.
Oh, okay.
He is
Happy
a very
birthday.
young doctor.
Yes. And let us greet
Frontliner
all the
pa rin.
other people who have been greeting us from the very beginning of the show. Okay, si Iris Festin. Hello. And then
Good
Rina
morning.
May.
Oo.
Hi. And Mila Arroyo. Si Har Har. Okay. And Muriel, of course, is with us again today from Parañaque City and saying, stay wise and be safe. And Piang Aboy, magandang umaga daw. Matt Resurrection.
Francisco.
Oo.
Sila?
Oo.
Oh,
Naku,
yeah.
humaba pala yung
Oo.
listahan. Francisco, Car Abode.
Oo.
Oh, si Kalindi Relova,
Oo.
Mate Adilila Satore, and Ver Enriquez, our good friend from
Oh,
Sambales.
Sambales.
Yes.
Oo.
Ayan ako, nandiyan na pala si Miguel Vargas. And sabi niya watching from San Fernando City. Okay.
So anyway, we are, alam nyo, when we talk about kindness, di ba?
Mm-mm.
See, many times, such values and morals begin at home. When a child sees how parents, di ba? Kasi ang bata responds to how a child is raised.
Mm-mm.
And if we are raised in such a way, or a child is raised in such a way, that they are able to contribute, not just them expecting so much from their parents, but their parents teaching them to be a
Oo.
part of the whole process
Oo.
in the home. Yet they're contributing.
Mm-mm.
So a child learns to, in the beginning, to learn to be a part of a team, which is called a family.
Mm-mm.
And then, because there's an interaction, a child learns to begin to act and kumbaga na, with kindness, because parents would always show unconditional love and kindness to a child. Tama? So, from there on, the child begins to grow and embraces this way. And as he grows up, he begins to have friends. Meron na siyang measurement. I learned this. I learned to be giving and sharing my
Learns
food.
how to be
Oo.
nice.
I have to share what I have.
Oo.
Di ba?
Yes.
Learns
Diba?
how to make little sacrifices.
Yes, it becomes a built-in thing
Oo.
for them. And that's a built-in way of going, you want to feel good, you do good to others. It begins early in your life,
And why do we have to be kind in the first place? No, basically speaking, because everybody is our brother. We are
Yes.
all
Yeah,
spiritual
our brother and
sparks, and we have
sisters.
one Father. And magkakapatid tayong lahat. So pag may kapatid tayo na nahihirapan, maganda naman na tulungan natin yon.
Oo.
Right.
This will be pleasing to our Father, and this is also very beneficial for ourselves
And
and for others.
it becomes, kasi
Second nature to us.
it's second nature, because by
Actually, it's
nature,
our nature.
it's
nga.
our nature to be of
Nature.
service.
Oo.
And from a young age, when this is being nurtured, to be of service becomes so natural.
Mm-mm.
Then there's no question of measuring what I'm doing.
Oo.
Di ba?
At saka yung
Kasi it can transform to something bigger.
sinasabi mo yung culture in the family, pwede din yung culture in your school or
Yeah,
culture
in
in
your
your community,
neighborhood.
in your
Yeah.
neighborhood. As I heard from you before, Tito Toby, yung sa Nichols Air Base, may kultura na pag merong disaster,
Yes, ako na.
lahat tumutulong mag-repack ng mga goods for distribution.
Right.
Di ba?
Yung ladies club ng mga, these are the
military.
wives, these are the
Oo.
wives of the officers. Kumbaga, my mother was part of it.
Oo.
Tatawagin lahat ng mga bata. Kasi walang pasok eh. Di ba pag may mga bagyo, walang pasok. Lahat kami papunta sa hangar na doon lahat ng bigas.
Oo.
And canned goods.
Canned goods.
and
Kami
all that.
nagbabag. Tapos, kasi they airlift eh.
Oo.
Nililipad nila.
Oo.
You know, so,
Parang tayo sa school noon, di ba, may mga
Donation,
drives,
oo.
volunteer drives.
like
di ba?
canned goods or even newspaper,
Oo.
whatever drives we
So
have.
give what you can.
help,
Yeah,
di ba?
I'm not sure whether there's still a lot of in the corporate world we see this, but we hope that we never see so much on the educational institution what is being done. You know,
Oo.
I know most of them will be a part of this whole process.
Oo.
You
Oo.
know?
Yes.
See, for example, we all know we're loaded by stress. Teachers trying to teach their students, but there are other things, not just academic to be learned.
Oh, yes.
Actually use the learning experience that is actually happening on the ground right now and educate the children. Look, this is the nature of the world we live in.
Oo.
But yet you can function in this environment
Oo.
with kindness in your heart.
Yes. And you can end up happier
Yes.
and
Yes.
more educated. Sinasabi nga nila, if they learn the right lessons during this pandemic, even if they were not in school, in face-to-face classes, mga ganyan, they could have learned deep lessons,
Oh, yeah.
lifelong lessons na makakatulong sa kanila throughout their life. You know?
Yesterday I was in a meeting. We were addressing the food issue of our province, the province of La Union. And how do we plan? The first thing that came about was because there was a series of interviews done of farmers, different farmers in different cooperatives, how much they were earning sa rice farmer, you know, or farmer in general. Kasi pag sinabi yung farmer sa Pilipinas, kadalasan natin yung kadalasan
Mahirap, ano?
naiisip natin yung mga nagtatanim ng palay.
Oo.
Yung sa mga bukid.
Yun ang marami,
Oo.
you know.
Oo.
Pero we have
Talaga?
our vegetable farmers.
Right. But ito yung mga magsasaka dahil siyempre sa La Union, puro palay. One farmer earns 20,000 pesos a year.
A year.
Divided by 12. Naku, napakaliit na lang nun. Di ba?
Tapos may isang farmer, yung parang
Talagang
siya yung
below
doing well,
poverty.
60,000 a year. Doing well.
Well na yun.
Ay, divided by 12. Maliit pa rin yun.
Maliit
O yun
pa
na
rin.
nga.
5,000
So when you
pa.
see these things, you begin to. So I was presenting something like
And their labor is free.
exactly.
Ayun
the labor
Walang
lang.
is free.
wages.
And
This
you're
is
the
what
ones feeding us.
this is
Dapat
what-
they're
this is what I
earning
mentioned to them.
well.
I said, look, the farmers don't account for the 60 man days per crop of rice, which is for 3 months. So that means 60 days of 90 days. Next 90 days bago ka umani.
Oo.
60 days of that, nagtatrabaho ka.
Oo. Daming trabaho kaya throughout,
ang
hindi ba
hirap.
mag-weeding,
So when you
rice,
hear
everything.
about
Hindi
this,
biro. Oo.
for our listeners and those who are joining us all the time, every person here, we are part of a community called, we're human beings. Kumbaga na we're gifted with higher understanding.
Oo.
And for us to make the best of what we have, each of us here would be able to contribute somehow or another. And let's not just be thinking of somebody else. Let us go for, okay, what can I do? How can I be a part of the solution?
Oo. How to
And it's-
make things better.
And it's born out of the kindness of a person's heart.
Oo.
You know?
Yes.
Kasi, again, if you want something good for yourself, siyempre, you have to do good for others. That's how it works. You know?
Like for some business people, they can think, what products of the farmers can they use? Hindi ba? Para naman,
yeah,
kasi-
saka buy local.
Oo,
no?
buy
Buy from our
local.
farmers.
You know, this is what was
Support
the
discussed,
market.
sabi nila.
Oo.
You know, Ah, ayun magbago rin yung mga magsasaka sa kanilang tinatanim dahil kung ano sino bibili ng mga produkto na iba.
Oo.
Oo.
But again, this is something na sabi ko, there is a disconnection between the producer of food and the consumer.
Oo.
We all have to eat every day. Each Filipino needs to eat so much rice and so much food every day. So there should now, kumbaga, there's always a market.
If people are eating more vegetables,
Yes.
I would say we are supporting
Yes.
the farmers, no?
Oo, let's not
Pag
just eat canned goods. Let's eat
Again,
fresh food.
Anyway,
Oo.
when you deal with such situation, one of the people I was meeting with, sabi niya, you know, ano siya, mataas ang position dito sa gobyerno sa aming probinsya. And she was saying, you know, after I finish, may tinatapos siya. She's taking up her master's. And sabi niya, let us make this as our focus. Sabi ko, sure. Let's just create models just to change the mindset of people that we need to shift and transform things in our own lives. But ang usapan namin, you see, we were talking business how the farmer can earn.
Yes.
Sabi ko, let's volunteer this way, let's give this way, let's support, ito ang mabigay natin, let's raise funds for this. But on our part, it is in the goodness of our heart, we give this to them. We'll just help them out.
With compassionate farming.
Right.
Oo,
May ganun yan. So you
compassionate.
transform the attitudes of people.
Oo. Kindness.
With kindness.
Oo, hindi yung anong kikitain ko dito. Oo.
Okay. So, bago tayo magpatuloy, meron na naman, may dami pa rin bumabate, si Paul Dizon, and Vina Pasqua, Mike Rex, Rosalinda Lescano from Okinawa, Dixie Palmos, Yogi Padilla, and we have Miguel,
Oh, we read this.
yes, and basically,
Gemini.
yes,
Yeah.
needs you, Gemini, Rose, Ananda Teves Ngo, and Miguel Vargas saying we have 300 seedlings na po, and we are planning to plant more planning to plant more with the Philippine Navy, PNP, and Link once MECQ is lifted. So may pagtatanim din sila for the environment. It's good. This is April Earth Days this month.
Okay,
No?
great. That's a kindness to the environment and to all of us when you plant trees.
Si Muriel may komento din. Teach your child that if you can be anything in this world, be kind.
Yes, truly.
That's a nice thing to have as an ideal, no? And Patrick is saying, continue inspiring us, go Palakas, watching from Baguio City.
I hope you guys are safe over there.
You know,
Okay.
ano yan, you add to what Muriel was saying. Kumbaga, there's two things. You do good to others
Which is also really being kind. Yeah.
and be kind.
Yeah.
Dalawa yan.
We're going to ask our audience, no? You can comment and add what acts of kindness you think that you can do, or we can propagate and
Yeah.
spread out more.
Yeah. Or what have you experienced?
Practical.
You know, an
Oh,
act of kindness from
yes,
someone, sometimes from
oo.
a stranger.
Oo.
Yeah.
Oo.
Like, for example, I'd like to make kwento, no? My sister kasi, they got COVID in their family, There's like 3 of them in the family. And
Uy.
tamang-tama, di syempre, quarantine sila and
Oo.
they were worried about, wow, ngayon pa tayo na quarantine. We need stocks and everything. But you know, their neighbor, their landlord was very kind. Asked them, oh, what do you need?
Mm-mm.
You know, and then siya yung namili for them.
Oo,
Yeah,
oo
to
nga.
give, so that they have stocks for the duration of their quarantine. And also, kasi my niece, she's a frontliner,
Oo.
and also her husband, no. So yung patients nila found out that they were sick. You know, one of them, I think they own a catering company. Pinadalahan sila ng food enough for their whole
Wow.
quarantine period. They just have to freeze it and,
oh.
you know, heat it up. You know,
Very
this-
touching.
Very kind.
Diba?
Very, very kind.
Very
you know, sometimes when
touching.
people get sick, na COVID na nga sila, they end up, you know, people are saying, bakit kayo nagka-COVID, di ba? Nag-ingat, ganyan, you know, they make you feel stupid or careless and all that. But the kind people, they will just
Oo.
try to find out, what can I do to help you? You know,
Yes.
to make
Oo.
you, to ease your burden, to
Yes.
ease your worries and
Oo.
suffering.
Oo.
This is why now, during this time of COVID, kindness is so important. Mm-mm.
So meron na lang ako i-share ng mga iba-ibang proverbs din on
Mm-mm.
kindness. Sinabi dito, a kind word can attract even the snake from his nest. O sige, kahit yung mga ibang mga negative, pag nagsalita ka ng kind words, pati sila, uy, okay yun na, maganda,
Mm-mm.
na-attract din sila. And then kind words are worth much and they cost little. Okay?
Oo
So,
nga.
hindi ba kung
Libre.
libre, everybody can afford, hindi ba, to say kind words. And meron nga yung teacher natin, sinabi niya noon, be nice.
Oo
Yeah,
nga.
be nice. And sinabi pa rin na sa Tamil, sinabi, kind words conquer. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, you don't need to be rich, you don't need a sword or whatever to actually conquer the wrong in the world. You can actually use kind words.
You
And
conquer many friends and allies
conquer,
that
oo.
way, di ba? When
It's
you're
very
kind.
powerful, kind
Yes.
words.
Yung bang, instead of making a big mountain out of a molehill, minsan palampasin mo na lang.
Oo.
You know, sometimes that in itself is a kindness, di ba?
Yes, oo. So I would like to share a little video at this point about what a child, even a 10-year-old can say about kindness, and
Okay.
we can learn from her something.
Speech at a small event in Truckee, California, and they let me know that I had an opening act. It was a 10-year-old girl that had an amazing speech about random acts of kindness, and it put chills on my skin. It was awesome. I recorded it and wanted to blast it out. Forward this video, share it, do what you can, because this girl rocks and her message is truly incredible.
Henry James, an American writer, once said, "Three things in human life are important. The first, to be kind. The second, to be kind. And the third, yes, to be kind." I share these words with you because they explain my one wish for America. Anyone can wish. I mean, I can easily wish for that A+ on my spelling test. But if I don't do the work, I can't get the A. I can wish for America to find a cure for cancer. And I can also wish for peace. But I mean, I'm only 10. I would love to do these things, but I can't. Well, maybe someday I can. But for now, there are things that I can do. And one of them is to be kind. Bullying is when a person hurts another person by saying mean words or using actions to physically hurt someone else. There are words for these types of bullying: emotional bullying, physical bullying, and cyberbullying. Did you know 1 out of 10 students drop out of school because of repeated bullying? And that 3.2 million students each year are victims of bullying. This is so sad. But you know what? We can all change this, but only if we can all be kind. There are little things that we can all do. We can all be kind. Anybody can be kind to anyone. You can be kind to, well, not just your best friend, not just your neighbor, but a total stranger. All you have to do to be kind, just smile. That's it. Kindness is simple. You could smile at someone at a store. That could make their day. And chances are, they'll smile back. That could make you feel good too. Kindness can change someone's life. For example, if there's a student walking around with no one at recess, they could get teased. They could get bullied for having no friends. They could turn out to be one of the victims of bullying who drop out of school. But think, the next time you see that person, you go and talk to them. So they don't get teased. So they don't drop out of school. So they have a happy life. Kindness is amazing. My teacher was reading a book to my class called Wonder by R.J. Palacio. This book is about a boy who who has a disfigured face, and he's bullied because of it. When given the choice between being right or being kind, choose kind, is what his teacher said once. So let's go and do something. Tomorrow, just maybe, you'll see someone and you'll smile. But why wait until tomorrow? Be kind today, and I mean right now, right this second. So do you think that we can make a difference? I do. And I know that we can make a difference together. I know it.
A very simple message from a 10-year-old but very wise. Okay?
Yes.
No? Actually, yung sinasabi niyang kindness, no, showing it to people. We have a friend, no, he has cancer and is already bedridden. And tinawag niya yung mga pamangkin niya just the other night and sinabi niya, humingi siya ng paumanhin, sabi niya, I'm sorry na I have been a burden sa inyo kasi nakikitira siya dun sa mga pamangkin niya. Sabi nung isang pamangkin niya, naku tito, siguro materially wala kang nabibigay masyado, pero spiritually, ang laki ng tulong mo sa amin. You know? At mahal na mahal ka namin. So yung kindness na yon, in spiritual acts of kindness are appreciated by people and they touch the hearts of people and hindi nila makakalimutan yon, you know, kahit magkahirapan pa and whatever, maalala nila yung kindness, yung shinare mo sa kanilang wisdom, yung mga payo, yung mga yung sabi nung girl, kahit smiling lang eh. Yung just being
it really
nice,
makes
no?
your day.
Oo. Very nice thing to remember, no?
See, ano yan eh, you know, in our lives, di ba, our thought process, di ba, sometimes you should check out what's in our mind tends to be, di ba, lumalabas.
Oo.
Become
Yes.
words,
Yes.
and your
you can
words,
see the expression.
and your words
Oo.
become habits,
Oo.
and your habits dictate what character you would have.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Ganun yan eh.
Oo.
So those are the steps that takes place in our lives. So if in our thought process we're already so there's kindness
Comes out on your face.
comes
As a
out in your
smile.
face. As
Oo.
a smile, it comes out. It becomes a habit.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to check yourself all the time. I think I have to be kind right now because may ganito eh.
Oh,
No.
another smile.
Yeah. And it also comes from within.
Oo.
It's a gift from within,
Yes.
you know.
And it's always meant to be shared.
And it's meant to be shared so that that kindness and that love continues to grow.
Yes.
See,
Oo.
without the sharing, then there's no growth.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
Dixie Palmo, she's thanking us for sharing wisdom and insights. Yeah. So
Sabi rin ni Harhar, parents should teach their kids at home properly, not relying on schools. Kindness to everyone you see, whatever you can do. Anybody who earns well should give to charity than buying expensive stuff or showing off to people around. Let's help everyone.
yeah, there's so many ways to
Yeah.
show
Plus,
our
also,
kindness. Kahit wag ka lang magsiga para naman the air is nice and
you know, you have
fresh.
you have schools
That's a
like
kindness.
sometimes in schools, for example, you know, we cannot underestimate or let's make it clear. For me, I spent so many years in school too. And there, I could remember many of my teachers. They may be so strict, but they were caring.
Oh, yeah.
marami.
In fact, most of those really strict ones, they're the ones who really care. They wanted you to learn.
Yes.
No?
And then you will come to find sometimes in school, you know, you would have a certain group of friends or people that hang out together, and you will find what is the common thread amongst them. Why do they hang out together? Why do they stay together? And you will find that even at this very moment, years later in their life, they stay together. And it all has to do with sharing. Actually,
Bigayan.
bigayan sila. There's acts of kindness which becomes the very foundation of such
Yung
relationship.
bond nila.
Diba?
Oo. Sometimes though, we try to be kind to people, but they don't, minsan nagagalit pa sila. They don't appreciate what we do. And meron nga dyan mga bashers mga bullies,
But
no?
you know, on the end
Sa
of the
mga
day,
taong mga tumutulong. However, ang ano natin dito, we offer our acts of kindness to God, and that is already very spiritual in itself. And even though there is no a positive reciprocation by the people that we help, still, if God is pleased, then that's good. You know, there's no loss. We are not waiting for recognition. We're not waiting for acceptance by other people. And whatever we do that is spiritual, it does not need material rewards. So si Kat Loresca is saying good morning also. And Priscilla Lavarias, J Resurrection. And also si Vina has a, ayun, may mga comments tayo.
Oo.
Si Yogi. Gusto mo
Oo, she
basahin?
said,
Oo.
with this pandemic, we happen to take care of some community cats. We can be compassionate to other living entities, not only in human form. It's been a year now, so since we adopted a family of a community of cats who are dependent on us, feeding and taking care of them and letting them hear, especially some healing sound as well.
Mm-mm.
Nice
Si
naman.
Milay
oo.
naman, kind words are easy to say, but their echoes live long in human hearts.
Wonderful.
Oo.
Talaga. Oo.
O yan, sabi rin ni Gemini, say kind words no matter what. And si Vina, meron din siyang message. Kindness, compassion, and love for God. This is what is taught to my two children. There is a favorite verse from the Bible. Teach your child in the way they should go. And when they are old, they will not depart from it. This topic is so inspiring. Thanks so much to Go Palakas.
True, Vina, ganyan talaga yung sinasabi ni Tito Toby, yung the way we raise our children is so important
Oo.
talaga for their whole lifetime.
And si Angel Gonzalo, bumabati rin. Ananda Teves Ngoses, not eating animals of any kind creates a great kindness to other living entities and very beneficial to one's heart.
Yes, and
That's a
Dixie
true,
says, nice, let's make kindness our default setting. Crises are not for a better tomorrow.
nice, nice.
Great idea.
Oo. Sabi rin ni Jean, bumabati rin siya, Jean Ika. And Har says, it start from showing care to our family, next to the community, and all the living things around us. Plant more and clean our surroundings. Let's be kind, show our care and love.
it's called in the practice that we do here. We call it care in action.
Yes,
Ayun.
that's our slogan
That's
sa
our
ating
slogan.
Safe Care.
Whether it's to humans, to animals, and to the environment,
Yes.
to the
Oo.
ocean, to the trees, and everything.
Yeah.
You
Let's
know.
put our care in action. Let's show it. Yeah. And
Sab-
Mila says,
Oo.
so true. Greeting with a smile makes our day, no matter how stressed we are. Thanks, Go Palakas, friends.
And then from Karkar Abode, be kind to animals, don't kill and eat them.
Oo.
Bait-bait naman nila, wag natin sasaktan, paiyakin pa sila. Okay?
Yeah, remember that the animals have moms. You don't want to hurt a child because the mom will be hurt also.
Oo. Si Mikel Mendezona, express yourself through kindness. Ano, nice messages. Thank you
Mikel.
very much for sharing. You know, actually yung nasabi ni isang friend namin dun sa subdivision nila in the Middle East in Dubai. Marami daw cats pumupunta sa subdivision nila
Oo.
dahil every neighbor, marami silang Indian neighbors. Indians are known to really like feed,
Oh,
feed
the
people and
animals.
feed animals.
Oo.
So talagang puntahan daw lahat ng
Oo.
ng cats dun sa subdivision na 'yon.
Yeah.
So nag-issue ng memo yung subdivision. Huwag na kayo magpakain doon sa mga pusa dahil magpupuntahan na sila dito. Hindi naman daw mapigilan ng mga tao, talagang nagfi-feed sila.
Yeah.
So some people really talagang, as you were saying, comes from their heart,
Yes.
feeding people,
Thoughts,
sharing with people,
habits.
and
Yeah,
people,
ayan.
animals.
Step by step.
Oo.
Thoughts. Yeah. Thoughts, words, habits,
Yes.
character.
Yes.
There's an Indian man, you mentioned India. No? In India, there's a man who lives in the city. And their city said, grabe, it's really, I guess, like Manila, no?
Oo.
Wala
So
na daw
congested.
silang nakikitang ibon. Meron siyang space on his roof. Naisipan niya, maglabas siya ng
Every day.
grains doon.
Oh.
Ito na yung birds. Hanggang now, he started with maybe a kilo of rice. The birds would come. Now he cooks something like 14 kilos a
Oh
day.
my God,
Ang
really?
dami ng
You know,
birds.
you know how many birds?
Oh.
4,000 parrots.
Oh,
Parrots.
and
Yeah.
everyone there,
Yeah.
they love it. It's like, wow,
It
there's
was
a
so
here.
it was so in the middle of a highly urbanized place.
Oo.
Ginugol nila, nakita nila. There's a particular area na may green strip.
Lagi daw green.
Oh.
Lagi
Kasi
daw
yun
green.
yung birds.
Yung
Yung
pala-
birds,
yung mga
oh,
birds yung
hindi
green.
puno pala
Yeah.
nilalaman.
Kasi when they
Yeah,
come
so-
at a certain time, napupuno talaga.
There's so
Wow,
much that
ganda.
we all can do,
How kind, no?
We are given this human life as a gift. Diba? Love and kindness from our Creator.
Mm-mm.
Correct?
Yes.
So we should take it to the next level again.
Mm.
Diba? We should be a part of that process. So, what little things that we can do in acts of kindness will go a very long way in other people's lives, in our life.
Yeah.
And the more we do it, the more we begin the fullness of the extent of our actions. Many times when here in the Philippines, no matter what, alam natin there's that part of our society na parang kadiliman lang yung nakikita o yung
Oo.
mahirap
Yeah.
yung buhay.
Literally even, no?
Yeah.
Wala
But
silang ilaw.
but in the middle of such a mess, you will find people who will act out of the good kindness of their heart and share something or help someone.
Meron sinabi nga si Ivy, being
Oo.
kind to others is being respectful of others' battles. We are all enduring these difficult times. Be kind to all kinds. Good morning.
Okay,
Very
good morning
nice,
to Harry.
Ivy.
Harry
Thank you.
Yumol of Ilocos Norte, no?
And Duntian Karihan also.
Mm-mm.
And Har says, teach other people love for God is another way to show kindness so their life will become better, so that they will be happier.
Oh,
Kumbaga,
yes.
you teach something spiritual to help these people, then they will be happier when they actually practice that.
Yeah, and
If
they
you
will
look-
show that same thing, teach it to others,
Oo.
and they pass it
Yeah,
on.
sometimes we always, there are times we look at models.
Mhm.
Yeah, certain people who will come and suddenly like the life of Jesus Christ
Mhm.
was all about kindness, tolerance towards others, and never mind the faults.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
Right?
Oo.
Never mind the
Oo.
faults.
Oh, focus on the good.
Focus on the good. Focus on how you make people better. And then in our lives, if we try to look at the externals a lot, and you will be miserable.
Mhm.
You'll be
Yes.
judging. Oh,
Oo.
then you'll be miserable. It's not the way we should live our lives. We should always be looking that there are, no matter what, there's a personality there, a person who, just like me, experience or needs love
Mhm.
and needs to love and be loved.
Yes.
Diba?
Oo.
So these are things that we always have to keep in mind. And that if we look at the great saintly persons and devotees like Jesus Christ who appears, and if we have the proper association, then we can see that these acts of kindness being performed, not just only when it's needed,
Mm-mm.
but it's something that's always there in a person's life.
Yeah.
You know.
And for sinabi ng mga Chinese, forget injuries, never forget kindness.
Yes.
Write injuries, sabi naman ng French, write injuries in sand, kindness in marble. Mas tatagal yun, hindi ba?
Carving pa.
Oo,
ganda.
carving.
Mm-mm.
And sabi ng mga tiga Malawi, gold is a debt we can repay, but kindness not till our dying day. Hindi mo mababayaran ang kindness. It's very much needed, and yet we can all do something about it.
Yes.
No?
And now that you mentioned Dying Day, I just remembered we started the show talking about Araw ng Kagitingan. And, my nephew who is a soldier, he was just telling us how
Oh.
a friend of his had died because he was in a battle. Yeah. And
Recently
one they were
lang to.
able to save because after 10 hours, he was able to be brought for surgery, no, to try and save his leg.
Mm-mm.
Pero they
Di
had
umabot.
to, they lost that golden hour ba na that time,
Oo.
no?
Too much
Ah,
blood lost.
Exactly.
Oo.
So the blood, now that you mentioned, that's what I wanted to talk about. Let us, as an act of kindness, if we can, donate some blood to help all the people who are needing blood. Kasi few people are donating blood now kasi takot sila nga mag-COVID.
Lumabas. Oo,
But
oo.
arrangements can be made so that it's safe. Yung friend nga nung aking pamangkin, for him to go through his surgeries, he needed 5 surgeries. 19 of them na magkakaibigan na soldiers donated blood.
Oo.
Otherwise, walang dugo silang makuha
Oo.
for that young man.
Oo.
No? So this is also an act of kindness. Let us share blood if we can.
There are people out there sacrificing their lives, no, for so little. Their salaries are very, very small, very
Yeah,
minimal.
Very pitiful.
Hindi
ano.
nila kaya
Tama.
magpagamot, this kind of, pati farmers hindi kaya magpagamot
Oo,
hindi
yun na
ba?
nga eh.
They're
Oo.
already living day to day on very little. So we have to help, no, nowadays. Kaya yung act of kindness, siguro mag-iisip tayo in the morning, ano kaya act of kindness gagawin ko today?
Yes,
It's very
oo.
nice if you actually put a conscious effort in making your little project, even with your little family, ano tayong act of kindness today. And your kids would, sige, ito na yung gawin natin.
Yes,
They
and when
can
you're
help.
in that mentality, you're always on the lookout for the opportunity, and I'm
Right.
sure the opportunity will always come your
Right.
way.
And you know,
Oo.
it's a consciousness.
Mhm.
And then kasi
Yes.
ano yan you have character,
Oo.
then you have your consciousness,
Yes.
and then courage.
Conscience, oo.
Your conscience, and then your courage. May courage ka.
Yes.
This is
To
sometimes
do the right
to
thing.
do the right
Oo.
thing.
Yes.
We all need courage to do
Just
this.
like that child was talking about, helping people who are being teased or being bullied.
Oo.
It takes a lot of courage to help that
Stand up.
person to stand up and say, "Hey, don't do that."
For a 10-year-old child,
Oo.
Very brave.
courage yan. She's showing a courageous act.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
And this is like the type of pressure sometimes many young people face today.
Oo.
Many times people act, alam niyo yung naging ugali ngayon sometimes, yung quick fix ang tawag,
Mm-mm.
quick gratification,
Mhm.
short but not really actually thinking of the
Long-term.
long-term
effect.
impact on such actions to a person's life and others,
Yeah.
Pero si Tito Toby, meron na kwento yan, narinig ko noon Merong binubuli sa kanilang school. Siya yung naging guardian nung batang bakit ba siya binubuli? Mahina or something.
Yeah.
Mahina siyang
Wala, he's just a little boy,
Little
and
boy.
the bigger boys will
Oo.
be the bullies.
So, yun, yung mga pagtulong sa mga ganun na mga may kahinaan, ganun, ma-appreciate nila yon. At matutuwa rin tayong maalala na meron tayong natulungan mga taong ganun. So, ayan ako, sumobra na naman tayo sa oras. Si Juan Perez, bumabati pa rin, tsaka si Rene Araneta.
Maraming
Bumabati
salamat
from
po sa
Cebu.
inyo lahat. I guess we
Thank
have
you
to end it
all.
this time.
Yes.
We'll see you again
Kulang
next
na naman
weekend.
ang oras.
Thank you so much. Okay, take
Thank
care and
you.
be safe.
Bye.
Stay safe and be
kind.
safe.
Yeah.
Be kind.
Pangkalusugan, pangkalikasan, go Palakas!